6 ways Einstein changed the world. 1. He paved the way for GPS. In 1915, Einstein outlined the general theory of relativity. It made an important prediction. Time would seem to slow down near massive objects like Earth. GPS satellites are 12,000 miles above the planet's surface. This effectively speeds up their clocks. Satellite navigation systems have to account for this effect. Otherwise, GPS errors would accumulate at a rate of 6.2 miles per day. 2. Einstein explained why the stock market is hard to predict. In 1905, Einstein explained Brownian motion. It's the jittery movement of tiny particles suspended in a fluid. Molecules in a liquid will form a cluster. It will briefly move in the same direction. This causes a larger particle to budge slightly with them. Another group of molecules will then push in a different direction. This results in a zigzag motion. Brownian motion underpins our understanding of all complex systems. This includes stock market fluctuations. 3. We owe solar energy and cell phones to Einstein's discoveries. He discovered the law of the photoelectric effect. It explains what happens when light shines on certain materials. When the light has enough energy, it triggers electron emissions. This principle is key to solar cells. They absorb sunlight and transform it to electrical energy. It's also crucial for modern electronics. Cell phones and motion sensors both utilize this effect. 4. Einstein laid the foundations for lasers. Lasers rely on stimulated emission. This process was first theorized by Einstein in 1917. An atom in an excited state may drop to a lower energy level. This causes what's known as spontaneous emission. Spontaneous emission is a sudden release of photons. Einstein argued that it could be stimulated. Incoming photons would trigger spontaneous emission. Decades later, Einstein's theory was used to develop the laser. 5. Einstein was the first daydreamer to be celebrated.
Imagination is more important than knowledge,
He said. It was a revolutionary idea at the time. Scientists relied on formal knowledge, but Einstein had a knack for daydreaming. For example, he imagined a beam of light. Then he tried to picture himself traveling fast enough to catch up. This led him to develop the special theory of relativity. Einstein's general theory of relativity also came from a daydream. He imagined a person in free fall. Einstein called it the happiest thought of my life. Research has since validated Einstein's approach. Daydreaming improves mental performance on complex tasks. It also boosts creativity, reduces stress, and strengthens memory. 6. Einstein discovered the expanding universe. He applied the general relativity equations to the cosmos. But the answer that came out looked wrong to him. It implied that the fabric of space was in a state of continuous expansion. The distances between galaxies were constantly growing. Common sense told Einstein that this couldn't be true. He added the cosmological constant to his equations. It produced a well-behaved, static universe. But in 1929, Edwin Hubble observed other galaxies. His observations showed that the universe really is expanding. Einstein's original equations were correct. Einstein called the cosmological constant his biggest blunder.